now listening to Kimbology.
Kimbo, aka the traveling chafing queen.
Sexy sustainability.
Meditate, masturbate, medicate.
Now listening to Kimbology.
Kimbo, aka the traveling chafing queen.
Sexy sustainability.
Meditate, masturbate, medicate.
You are now listening to Kimbology.
Kimbo, aka the traveling chafing queen.
Sexy sustainability.
Meditate, masturbate, medicate.
I think I might
Kimbo,
have you
aka the
I think
traveling
we're on
chafing
here.
queen.
Check.
Sexy sustainability.
Kimbology.
Meditate, masturbate,
We'll be getting
medicate.
started in just a moment. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, you can't hear anything right now.
You are now listening to Kimbology.
Kimbo, aka the traveling chafing queen.
Oh, Jack.
Sexy sustainability.
Meditate, masturbate,
There we go.
medicate.
Check.
To another episode of Kimbology. It's your
Hey.
girl Kimbo here, aka twerking on Yo Daddy's couch. We have TheRickDog in the building.
Hi.
TheRickDog feels very at home because he's been streaming nonstop since his hiatus. So he is like way more. I'm the one that's rusty, not him. He's been doing things.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's definitely different being in front of a camera like this and talking to somebody and not having something in my hand. But yeah, so it's way different. I don't feel as comfortable as you think I do.
Really?
Yes, so.
I'm winging it because I'm
Yeah.
high. I'm over here just,
Copy that.
flying. We just got back from Greece, y'all. So that's why that's why we decided to come on here and do a live episode just to talk about Greece. We had a wonderful time, didn't we?
Oh yeah, I had absolutely amazing time in Greece. It was, it surprised me how much.
It surprised me,
yeah,
too.
The whole thing was
Yeah.
a bit of a surprise. So.
I honestly didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. I didn't really have much expectations, though, did you?
I didn't. I just kind of went in there open-minded. I knew
Yeah.
that there was a lot to offer. I kind of just I was just letting it be. I didn't have any expectations. So I didn't want to be disappointed or, hey, George, or,
George, get in here. Or like Greece and all that fun stuff. All the like TikToks and things that we looked up, like everybody was like, oh, this is my fifth time coming to Greece. This is my second time. This is like, people continuously go back to Greece, and so obviously they have to go back for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we went, now I totally get it. Because would you go back?
I would go back.
Right?
And you asked me what is one thing that kind of surprised me is that so many people have gone back to Greece. I think
so
that
many
was the one that
people.
was like, and then once again,
Well, also there's a lot of islands.
yeah.
It's not just like one big island. When you go to Greece and basically you fly in, the most common places like Athens, you'll fly in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We decided to immediately go to the islands first. So when we started at,
Yes.
you have options though. You don't necessarily have to fly to Paros. Paros, you can actually take ferries. But we went like that and for long periods of time. However, the ferry was not that bad. I'm not gonna lie. So, but we did to Paros, 2 people, and then we did a flight from Santorini back to Athens for 2 people, and all of those flights was about $500. So it's 4 flights, or for 4 flights, $500. So do the math. It's not too bad.
No, that's not too bad.
Do you think it was worth doing the flight over the ferry? For the first ones?
I think when you first get there, yes, it's
Right.
worth it because you don't know the lay of the land. You don't know where the port is and all that stuff. So I think getting from Athens to that first island saves you a lot of time, and it gets your vacation off kind of smoothly instead of going. I think you're trying to eliminate as many moves as possible. So at first, yeah, it's good. Then once you're there, it's definitely okay to, yeah, it made it very comfortable for us, because that was the main thing I was worried about, going there, not knowing how to get around, normal stuff like that.
Yeah, because
travel.
we typically, when we travel, we're like, Ricky's always like, okay, like let's book, and like a carry-on luggage. That's the best thing to do, honestly, to keep things light. You're gonna be moving around a lot, so yeah. So
the lighter the better, and the cheaper, because they charge you by every 10 pounds or something like that.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah. So and the heavier suitcases they charge as well. So, but that's that's like the little flights that we did. So yeah, we started in Paros. We ended up renting a scooter there. Mm-hmm. Ricky's favorite thing.
That's the one thing on this earth that I cannot stand, are those scooters. My goodness, but whatever, we keep going.
Yeah, he hates the scooters. We did scooters this is our third place though that we rented, like a scooter is like a little motorbike.
It's a double-edged sword, because I always do a really good job of picking a location, but the location is always on top of a mountain.
Yeah,
and
because he always has these really great views.
Yeah,
but then logistically, if you want a really good view, you're going to be on a fucking mountain. So
I'm not a big fan of it going up and down, but whatever. I mean, okay, I just haven't done it a lot in my life, so I apologize.
Yeah, so Ricky doesn't love the scooters. We did it in Koh Samui, we did it in Thailand, and we did it in Bermuda. And then in Paros, because it was a smaller island, we just was like, it was like literally like $25 a day to rent a scooter. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Mm-hmm. I feel, I'm comfortable with it, but then you add on 2 people into a scooter, that element with balance and everything, it does add a little bit of struggle. However, I did a great job. You got to give me my credit, give me my flowers.
Listen to me, when it comes to that, you get more than flowers. You get everything. You kept us alive. I wouldn't have got back on if I didn't feel safe. So that wasn't the thing. I just didn't want to leave it up to chance. That's all. Yeah. And then once I rode around on it a couple times by myself. Yeah,
he took the scooter. I got sick one night.
It wasn't as bad.
So yeah, he took it out and just had fun with it. So, but when you're on with 2 people, if it's me and him on the scooter, I'll usually drive, because I just have more experience driving. Yeah. Plus, I just feel more comfortable driving. But yeah, I mean, like, you just got to get the, like, obviously we've done it in several places now. You just got to get, look back on the horse or whatever, so to speak, and then get, now the cliffs and the high elevation up and down, it does add a little bit of, it's tougher, because you got to really control, and keep things in control when you're driving a scooter or motorbike. But I did pretty good. So yeah, I would say if you want to do Paros, scooters are awesome. They're cheaper, because honestly, we did end up taking a taxi one night. Mm-hmm. And that ended up being really expensive.
Because
it was just like, obviously Paros is really small, so you can see the whole island. They said like in an hour and a half. Like if you were to take the scooter and just drive around for an hour and a half to the other side of the island, that's how big the island is. So it's not that big. However, if you want to go towards, we wanted to
good time and stay out as late as you want and not worry about driving in the middle down a mountain in the middle of the night.
Yeah, for him, he was like, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Cause
it was worth it.
I mean, yeah, and essentially, like if I wanted to drink and
have a good time,
and just mainly I was happy because I could like dress cute, because on the scooter, obviously, I couldn't. I had to wear pants the whole time.
I had to wear pants too.
Eagle. Ricky couldn't wear his skirt either, so
exactly. That's funny.
But so scooter, what's what we did. Food. I was like, let's talk about food. We did find some really good food spots in Paros that we can recommend. Almond was in Nausa. Nausa is just, the merch was super cute. Like I was over here looking at all the details of like, just like the quality, like, they were like all about sustainability and, and yeah, the food was really good. I had this, like, he had pancakes that I ended up stealing and eating. Oh, they were really good.
The food was really good. Yeah, everything I ate on any of those islands was really good. And those breakfast spots was good. Anywhere they had pancakes.
Yeah, I had like a eggs Benedict with like eggs Benedict like on bagels or whatever, and then that was really delicious. But then I was really impressed because I don't really typically like pancakes like that. I think they're too sweet with the whole syrup and everything like that. This wasn't. It was like wheat pancakes.
Yeah, no syrup.
There was no syrup.
Dry.
It was like a
still good.
like a almost like a whipped cream or whipped butter. Like that was like the syrup or whatever in between each of the pancakes. It was so good. I was like, man, I want these. Ever since I was like, I want to go back there. So almond was great. Big Noses. Remember that one cute little shirt?
Yes.
So if you are going to take a ferry in Paros, it's literally right by the port. So definitely recommend going to. It's called Big Noses. Oh, all the like stores and like shops had really cute names. Like they were like Eye Crack. There was like this like one.
Eye Crack. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's very straight up and very straightforward. So if you had a big nose, we're calling it Big Noses.
Yeah, they don't take themselves that seriously.
Eye Crack.
They just was like, fuck it. We'll just call it Big Noses or Eye Crack, whatever. You know, it was a beautiful. That was the lovely thing about Greece, guys. There's cats everywhere, and they're so cute, and they're well loved and taken care of, and all the people feed them and take care of them and love them, and you know they get they get them spayed, neutered, give them their shots, you know. So there's cats everywhere, but they're all like, you know, well
they're
maintained,
very well.
you know?
I didn't see one cat that wasn't well taken care of. Wasn't well maintained.
One of them, remember the one that got his like tail ran over?
Yeah, but that felt like it was self-induced. He felt like he was getting himself into some shit. Everybody else, I felt bad for him too.
But for the most part, they were all
yeah.
So literally, you're having this beautiful dinner, you know. So we had like lobster with pasta, and then they like make it by like table side. They like serve it to you. It was really cute.
I was really amazed. I mean, that's one of those things. We went in there open-minded. I was amazed on how good the pasta was, because you didn't realize how close it was to Italy. And then I didn't realize how good, you know, the seafood was going to be. So that kind of surprised me. It was fantastic. It was top of the line. It was really good. Yep.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And then just the cats. Like I ended up like stopping by a little cute little like pet shop, and we got some like cat food because I wanted to feed all the kitties.
I remember that.
And so we had some like in our backpack. We would travel around with it, and so whenever we see cats, we would like feed them little treats and
we would try, but they weren't having it because
at that place, Paros, I gave one of the little cute cats some food, and the cat looked at me like, "Oh, bitch, I eat lobster every night. Like, I don't want this fucking like kibble. Like, fuck out of here." So literally, like, looked at it and scoffed and was like, "Meow."
The cat food, which was classic. Anywhere else you go, cats will eat anything. These cats were, I'll take the lobster. Or
literally, because I mean, every night, you know, literally, if like they get, you know, leftovers or anybody's like they give it to the animals, they give it to the cats, you know. And the guy was telling us that, you know, they do feed the cats and that they keep away all the snakes, all the mice,
rats.
So it's like a give and take, you know. So the animals help the business as well by keeping really cute. So Paros had a lot more cats than I think other places we went to, and it was our first experience. So that's even our Airbnb. So let's talk about our Airbnb.
Okay, we could talk about it.
So first of all, let me just shout out RickDog, because RickDog is the best at picking the Airbnbs. I have completely just like let him handle all of that, because like he does the work. He'll sit there, he'll look for the Airbnb, he'll read reviews, you know what I mean, and then he'll determine whether the place is good or not for us to stay. And so in this trip we had 3 different Airbnbs. Honestly, the trip felt very much like we had 3 different vacations in one, because it was giving more of like traditional,
that old castle one.
Traditional castle like vibes with all stone. It was stone inside, stone on the bottom,
no
stone
TV.
on the floor.
I remember that.
No TV. EU outlets. I will say, make sure you have a component to plug in your phone. I mean your the right outlets. They have several transmitters or whatever that you can buy. We ended up, because I travel a lot, and I realized that I haven't gone to Europe in quite some time, and that's the place for me, like a little bit of a challenge. So we ended up having to go buy like the right plug to help us convert, you know, our outlets.
We got on our little scooter.
What was that?
We got on our little scooter.
We got our little scooter. We asked, you know, the local people, like, hey, where can we buy it? And there was one, like, right there. We'd be like, right there across the street. We're like, perfect. So we went and bought the little So all was well.
Right after we bought cat food.
Correct. We had bought the cat food. And we right next door.
I remember.
We could buy the little
Yeah.
outlets for the EU.
Thing at a time.
Exactly.
Or four things if you gotta. Yeah.
Me and Rick Dog are quite tech savvy. Like I noticed that about us. Like we like tech. We have lots of techie things. We have like lots of electronics.
Yeah.
So that was difficult, but in a way, like I was like, I don't need my watch. I like didn't wear my Apple Watch the whole time I was in Greece.
I wore it. It just wasn't on.
He kept wearing it even though it wasn't working.
Who
So
cares? Nobody knows the difference.
I was like, why are you having? But however, old school like pizza oven, which we did not use.
No,
I will
we didn't.
say,
The
but it was
old
really
school,
cool.
yeah, that hot stone pizza. That was cool. That stone oven.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Fireplace. It was cool.
You could just tell that the people that own the house, they like when they have family in town, they like use that spot and they like have these like dinners and because they had this big table in our Airbnb and then they had that like pizza oven and then they had access right outside and that's where you could walk up and there was like hammocks with a beautiful view. Our view was incredible.
Yeah,
there.
it was. That was
insane.
what the whole place was for right there. There was
For the
nothing to
view.
do inside. You had to get outside, sit
Pretty
in the hammock, enjoy the view, enjoy the island, and I kind of did that on purpose. That's why I booked it.
It was called Summer Breeze.
Summer Breeze.
That was like the name of the
I like
Airbnb. And plus we were jet lagged.
Yes,
I will
that's
say, guys, get ready for some jet lag. It's going to happen. It's an 8-hour difference between, we are in Chicago, obviously. And so, going to Greece, there's an 8-hour difference. So you do experience some jet lag. And then, and the showers. So they told us that they use,
most of them use the solar
panels for the showers to heat the showers up and everything. So we noticed that in the daytime, we didn't necessarily have hot water, but in evening when the sun was out all day, we had hot water. So just keep that in mind too. Another big thing.
Yeah, the toilets, the solar panels, no toilet paper anywhere. You can't have toilet paper anywhere near the toilet.
You can have it near the toilet.
No,
you
you
just can't put it in the
you
toilet.
have to go
flush.
out, wipe, and then come back in. That's what they told me.
You're not allowed to have any toilet paper anywhere near it. It's illegal. No, you can have toilet paper. However, he's right. You can't flush your toilet paper.
No, you
here in
can't.
the U.S., here in the States, we are very much. But think about it, guys. We are like pretty much a new nation, right? Compared to like Greece. I mean,
Yes.
they're talking about BC, before Christ, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I mean, the pipes, the infrastructure's been there for thousands of years.
Thousands of years. So they're not equipped in a sense to have like, toilet paper being flushed in their system. So they respectfully ask that all toilet paper. So so all places have a separate bin ready for your toilet paper, right? Because everybody does not flush their toilet papers. And they have to stress that with Americans, particularly, because we are accustomed to flushing our toilet paper. If you do travel it and just flush your waste. So
they basically said that the house would explode if you put toilet paper. So you know what? I don't think I put one piece of toilet paper in that. I think I'm pretty proud of myself.
Imagine? You just start thinking it fucking explodes because we're just flushing our toilet paper down the toilet. No, it's not that serious, guys. However, you just don't want to deal with that. I'm sure sewage and plumbing, it's not fun. So yeah, don't flush your toilet paper when you're in Greece.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was our Airbnb. It was really nice. However, again, we wanted traditional. He went with the more traditional stay for our first day. We stayed there 4 nights.
It was 3 or 4 nights
3 or 4 nights.
With some travel in between, you know, that type of stuff.
And we had every intention to go to Naxos. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Oh yeah,
island.
that was part of the plan there.
Yeah, because you can do so Naxos. If you get on a ferry, it's 30 minutes ferry ride to Naxos, which is the nearby island next door. Actually, I saw on the map, but Naxos was bigger than.
Yeah,
it seemed to be bigger.
Yeah, it did look a little bit bigger. You're not wrong.
Are we good?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just kind of checking on everything.
Yeah, it was like bigger than Paros, so I was like, oh shit, so however we didn't go because after we ate at Paros that night, mostly because I was just wilding out. I mean, honestly, my stomach is like, bitch, we tried it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I ate all that pasta and lobster at Paros. Then afterwards we went and got those little chocolate balls. There's these little like dough balls that are like, that are drenched in like chocolate.
The donuts.
Oh, like the little mini donuts, right?
They're munchkins.
They're little munchkins. They're so delicious. That's a thing in Greece. Definitely get them.
Yes.
Yeah, I ate that. I ate so much shit. I ate like literally, and then literally that night, my stomach was like, "Bitch, you tried it." So I ended up being sick. I ended up being out. So I actually, and that tends to happen for me a lot when I travel. I usually have like, a day where the food will affect me, and then I'm out. I usually kind of like stay in the hotel or whatever for the day, honestly, and that's kind of what happened. So the next day when we were supposed to go to Naxos, I stayed in bed.
Yeah,
and
out
recovered.
of commission. Yeah.
Yes,
You
and
were eating everything in sight, so, and I understand it. Once we got there, it was like, it was really good. I eat that, I eat this, and we were doing really good there, and then all of a sudden, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I suffer the consequences. So, but that's me. And then after that, though, we definitely went and got some like charcoal tablet pills for like our stomachs and things like that at the pharmacy. Oh, the pharmacy. Talk about the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, the pharmacies are cool. Yeah. Everything you need in that little tiny store.
Yeah, it's giving Walgreens, it's giving CVS, and that's it. But they're all pharmacies, but they sell more than just like pharmacy good. They'll have like makeup, they'll have like sunscreen, shower caps, deodorant.
Everything.
It's just like Walgreens, just like CVS. Yeah. So if you are wondering where all the Walgreens and CVSs are in Greece, it's called pharmacy, and you can get all your goods there. So if you need to get anything, and they have obviously people there that can help you out with all the, like if you have questions on like if you have like stomach issues, or if you have like if you're sick, whatever, they can recommend all the things you need. So that was very convenient. What else did we mention in Paros? Honestly, Paros was, I feel like that wraps up Paros really, because Paros.
Let's see. Let me think. Paros was cool. That was our first little stop. I didn't know it was very beautiful. Like
we didn't
that
really
first
go check out beaches there, honestly.
No, that place we kind of were just getting settled. We did a lot of good eating. They had very good food there. That was the seafood.
Yeah.
The seafood was probably it was very. It surprised me. The breakfast, it was very peaceful, very slow, and very quiet. So that was our very first stop. Yeah, that's about it. It was. We can move on from there. And then we took a little boat ride finally.
After we left, and that's the thing too, I'm so happy that we didn't end up doing the ferry when I was sick, because I would have just not. I would have not. Because guys, the ferry is a cosa. Okay, it is a feat. So yeah, so we and then the nice thing about the scooter at our Airbnb. So when we wanted to rent the scooter, basically we just told our Airbnb people that we wanted the scooter, and they just brought it to us. And then when we had to leave, we left the scooter there, and then they just picked it up. So it was really convenient. So shout out to them for handling all the scooter stuff. And then when we left, we ended up getting a taxi to the port, because we were going to take a ferry to our next stay, which was Santorini. Again, we went down to the port. You can even buy your tickets there, or you can buy them beforehand online. There are plenty of, if you honestly just Google like ferries in Greece, like there were so many places that you can buy the ferries, buy the tickets. Mm-hmm. We were already down there one day, and we ended up buying our tickets to Naxos, because again, we had every intention to go to Naxos. So Ricky actually went and exchanged our tickets at the main port area. And instead of going to Naxos, he exchanged it so we can go to Santorini. Yeah, it was under $100 for us to go. So we had to wait there. You all queue up. So everybody stands in line, and you queue up and you stand in line to go on the ferry. And then once the ferry arrives, the ferries are very efficient and they're very on time. And they have this system. They do this several times a day. So it's like,
the people are a little chaotic, but
it's the ferry itself. It runs very efficiently. However, it is chaos when you're like in line with a ton of people. Not only are you in line with people, you're in line with like vehicles and scooters. Yeah. And you all kind of go on there together. It's very Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it kind of feels like you're playing basketball at the playground with like 100 people. You're throwing elbows. You're trying to get to your bag. I'm sorry. It's crowded.
It's crowded. Yeah, and we. Guys, we even went in the beginning of their busy season. So we went in May, and their busy time is summertime, obviously. So June, July, August. So even in May when we went, it was a bit crowded. So I can't even imagine.
Oh man, it's got to get out of control.
So if you love the heat, if you love the summer vibes, like obviously if you want to fight for your life and go in June, July, August, like go ahead. But
don't do it.
I personally love that we went in May. Yes, it was a little cooler. Like the weather was giving desert. It was giving desert. So it was like cooler during the nighttime. And we're saying coolers were like 60s, right?
Yeah.
In the evening, right? And their 60s and 50, it's like not Chicago 60s. You know what I'm saying? It's like pleasant, you know?
Yeah.
Light
It feels
jacket,
good.
that type of vibes. But as soon as the sun comes out around 2 o'clock, it's hot. It's hot.
It's
you know?
scorching
It's
hot. It really is.
So,
It's like I couldn't imagine being there in the summertime. It's got to be brutal.
I can't imagine.
All those
So-
people, it's got to be just too much chaos.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I'm particularly very happy that we came,
we
that
got
we
lucky.
went during the lower season, which was like the beginning of their busy season. So May was, I recommend May. I do. If you're not
Yeah.
a big person, if you're not big on crowds and hot and heat, don't go in June, July, August.
Yeah.
You will die. But anyways, so we took the ferry. Yes, again, so you queue up, you get on the ferry, and then you basically, there was a lot of options on places. Yeah, they had all sorts of shit on the ferry, so you're good. But because, I mean, in retrospect, some of those rides are like from Athens to like, they go all around the island. So it could be, you could be on there for hours if you really wanted to. However, our ride from Paros to Santorini was like an hour and a half. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Really that
it was
long.
under 2 hours.
It was under 2 hours, yeah. To go from Paros to Santorini. And yeah, we went inside, we found a place to sit. People were like knocked out, taking naps. There's so many places, so many options. But I can see why they need all that space, because in the summertime it gets busy.
Yeah.
So I can see why they need all that areas to like chill.
For sure.
You can go
That thing
outside,
could
you go
get
inside.
people sitting all over the place.
Yeah, I can imagine it being full
Yeah.
in the
Get
summertime.
very full.
Yes,
very
so
quickly.
ferry was good, and then when we landed in Santorini, and we actually ended up setting up a transfer for through our Airbnb that Ricky chose, and they picked us up from the port. And we landed. It was basically like Jurassic Park. You get off, there's like doors open, and everybody's leaving at once. People are leaving, and trucks and cars.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I was like,
semis. There was working trucks, working people.
Yeah. So
you could tell people go back and forth every day. It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot going on there, and I was very glad. Then they also had the people there with the little signs,
Yeah,
like the
so
airport.
when you landed on the port, there's people that are waiting with signs up, and then we were one of those people because Ricky set it up beforehand. So she had his name on the sign, and there was this like small Greek woman that came and she meant business. She had her nails did and everything in her BMW, and grabbed our bags and threw them in the back like it was nothing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Greek women are very like strong, assertive, like strong. Like I loved it. Like they were their personalities were really something I could fuck with. Honestly, I can relate. You know, I didn't really meet any like meek kind of quiet, subdued Greek women. They were all very
I agree with that.
Right? They were all very strong, just like really about their business, you know, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And she took us, and we had a pleasant drive to our next Airbnb that Ricky chose. So for our second Airbnb, Ricky chose this amazing stay. Now, I will say, Santorini has a spot called Ia. It's pronounced Ia, but it's Oia, and I fuck up the way it might not even be pronounced Ia. I'm sorry if it is,
It's
y'all.
Oia.
But it's Oia. Yes, yeah, Oia, Ia. I've been seeing people say Ia too, so I don't fucking know. It's OIA. Okay, that's how it looks. Okay, that area is your traditional honeymoon area, wedding spot with the beautiful views and all
spectacular.
those.
Santorini was beautiful. Yeah.
Right, like stunning. Like when you're there, it is very much like I'm in a fucking picture book. I'm in a magazine. This is insane. Like this place is insanely beautiful. But you don't need to stay there. Like honestly, Ricky got us a gorgeous Airbnb that was in Fira, right? It wasn't in Ia, and it was a lot cheaper in that area to eat. To stay there, you know, and it was a gorgeous Airbnb that he got us.
It was nice, little hotel kind of setup.
It had a spa. We had our own jacuzzi inside our space.
Had an outside pool or balcony.
Outside pool, balcony, yes. Oh yeah, they're
Nice
very
bed.
smoke friendly there. I will say, like every place we noticed that me and Ricky went to in Greece, like there were
Yeah, no smoke detectors, and
no
they had
smoke detectors
ashtrays for
and
you.
ashtrays
So,
everywhere. Yes,
a lot of people smoked even when you were out to eat and stuff like that. People
Vaping.
sitting around.
People vaped a lot.
Everybody vaped. So
Everyone vaped.
usually here you don't see a lot of people just pull out a vape at dinner.
That was like a thing.
The norm there.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. So
yeah,
it was interesting.
So we felt very comfortable because we, of course, had to, enjoy our situations with vaping and stuff like that ourselves. So so we just fit right in. So that was nice. Cannabis is not legal there, I will say. There were like cannabis shops, but they were hemp shops.
I didn't see I think I saw one person smoke the entire time I was there. I noticed.
What, weed?
Yes, nobody was smoking.
I couldn't tell
nobody.
because they were always smoking something. So
it was never. Well, I mean, I don't know about their vapes.
Exactly.
I'm talking about the real. I'm talking about the real stuff. No,
like actual
nobody.
weed.
0.0.
It's not technically legal there, so I can understand why they're not just like smoking out in public.
Yeah,
However, there were like hemp shops and stuff that we did go in there and see. They're very lax there. Like you could tell cannabis is like not. They're lax in that sense. Like weed is not, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, but it's not legal in that sense.
It's not
Honestly,
their thing. It's not their thing. They like coffee and ice cream.
There were coffee and ice cream shops fucking everywhere,
That's funny.
which is Ricky's heaven.
Coffee, ice cream. They like to drink too. They like to
the drink.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a culture.
Smoke cigarettes.
But I would. Oh my God! If Greece became legal, cannabis, like if it became recreational, it would probably be even busier.
Oh
truly.
my God! It would be out of control.
God.
Yeah.
But it would be so dope. We could just go to the dispensary and get weed. Oh God! Be on Santorini.
I think it would be cool there. I think it would. I think it would fit their. I don't know. Not their. I don't know. It fit their vibe. I don't know if it fit their personality, but I think it would be good there.
I think it would be fantastic there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
However,
they're very.
That's not up to me. And there's a lot of like politics.
Politics.
There
That's the tough part.
Because we asked one of our taxi drivers about that. We were like, "So what's up with weed here?" Like I was just curious. I'm like, I work at weed at home, so like, what's up? So
I feel like the politics will prevent them. Yeah, for sure.
They don't want to do it. So that is that. So Santorini, we stayed in Fira. It was gorgeous. We had a really wonderful experience at our Airbnb. Highly recommend. The beds were comfortable. The doors were really unique. Remember the doors?
The doors and the windows, yeah.
Yeah, so because it was a spa and we have a jacuzzi in the room, it got really steamy in there. So they had this It
was.
I had the hardest time opening the fucking doors because it was just like you would have to like take the handle and turn it up and down. Like it was just like Ricky was like, "You do it like this," and he just got it right away. And I was like, "I don't fucking know these doors." But it was cool. I thought it was really cool. We got massages in our room, which was
couples massage.
Oh my God,
that was good.
That woman beat my ass, guys, but it was magical. I mean, that was like it was such a mind you, we did tell them both that we were like in pain.
Yeah, we wanted a deep tissue.
We wanted we love a strong massage. We love a tough massage. We don't like no Swedish little light. No. We want a deep tissue, So we told them that. And then we showed them where we had issues and stuff like that.
It wasn't as bad as the Jamaican deep tissue, but it was...
I don't particularly remember that one, but he remembers the Jamaican one. I don't.
Oh my goodness.
This Greek woman.
Unbelievable. But this was not bad.
I was sore afterwards. She went to town on my calves.
It was very convenient. They brought us the car there too, right? We had a mini car, this little
you're
smart
right.
car.
We had a scooter in Paros, and then in Santorini we got some really great advice. Shout out to my brother-in-law TJ and his friend that goes, I guess, to Santorini a lot, and he sent me an email with like all these recommendations. Excuse me. And he told us to not because they had, not only do they have scooters, but they have like ATVs. Mm-hmm. They have these four-wheelers. They have all sorts of cool,
gators.
Yeah, that you can rent. Like all these cool vehicles that you can rent. And Santorini was still small. It wasn't big. So like you could get around the island fairly easy. Like in a couple hours, you can just see the whole island like that. But they said though, because again, remember, Santorini is off like these cliffs, right? Because that in Ia, it's like stunning views, right? All these like famous like restaurants and like stays and suites on the cliff. That is literally on this side of the cliff, right?
Yeah.
So the person that my brother-in-law sent me the information and was like, don't rent an ATV. It's not as safe. Just get a smart car. Because again, all the other vehicles would be in stick shift too. They'd be
manuals. Yeah.
He's like, if you get a smart car, it'll be automatic and it'll be safe.
And it's huge because there's really tough to park almost anywhere. Anywhere the parking is just
Parking
tough.
was
You have to
tough.
fight for everything there.
Yeah.
So,
It was
smart car, way to go.
Yes, Santorini. We ended up parking because when you get to Ia, there's like this area where you park your vehicle. A lot of people actually, you could tell they just got dropped off there by these vans,
taxis,
and stuff.
A lot of people were on cruises and stuff like that that were there.
Yeah. So parking, you're right, and then there was like a parking lot that we ended up parking in. So that was nice though, at least for the smart car. But the smart car was amazing. I personally loved driving the smart car. It was so fun.
It was pretty good.
There ain't no room for no luggage in that little tiny thing, but it's so cute. I want one.
There's no
just to
room
want
for
one.
anything. That's true. But
They
it was
won't
good.
Nothing, but it's so cute.
It was a trooper. It did a really good job for it to be driving around on a mountain like that.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Oh, I was zooming around and because it's like so little, so you're just I was running,
felt like
driving all fast. And it was so
Mr.
fun.
Bean.
Yeah. It was so cute. I was like, I love this little thing. It's so cute. So we had the convertible one, so the top completely came off.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and we rented that for $50 a day.
Yeah, for that price, it was fantastic. It did really well. Yeah.
I will say I didn't really fall in love with many places there. There was one particular place that I did love a lot, which was that pita spot. It was called
the first place?
Yeah, it was called Pita Gyros. I found it on TikTok, and it's in Ia. It's in the beginning of going.
So we both had our battles.
Yeah, Ricky had a little stomach thing.
But
that
I was
day.
over it quick.
Yeah,
I feel like
yours
it was
over quick.
Yeah, but so I wasn't able to enjoy that gyro place at that place. So I do agree with you that the food in Santorini was
like
not
mid.
as good. And I think
mid to us.
I think everybody kind of goes there for the there was a lot of really good shopping. Like you kept.
Oh yeah.
We found
shopping.
that the roads with little, like the thing about these little islands, if you kept going a little bit there, it wasn't
and I
as
think
good.
that they know that because they're like, you don't need to have great food here.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
you're here for
Mind
other things.
We didn't eat a lot in Ia because Ia was that really expensive area where like honeymooning and like all that. They literally are the Airbnb, the hotel that we stayed at. They told us they're like, don't eat in Ia. It's way overpriced and it's mid food. If you're gonna eat our food, you might as well stay in Fira or Thera, which is the other place. It was going to be way cheaper, and we had a wonderful view.
Oh, that place was off the charts, and it was really good. It was not bad. The food there was not bad. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the view was great, but like it just wasn't.
It was not
the
bad.
food wasn't that great,
Yeah, it wasn't that
honestly.
great.
Again,
I agree. Yeah.
it just wasn't mind blowing. You know what I mean? Like that Pita Gyros place, go there. Put it on your list. It's worth it. It's worth it. And like for them though, which I did love about Greece, here in the States, we're like gyros are very like. Street food, right?
Yeah.
Very done very fast and just kind of like thrown together. There in Greece, it's like curated. It's like thought after. It's got the best ingredients. Like it is elevated. So it is nice. Like
it is
good.
top of the line. The onions, the tomatoes, like the pita is fresh
bread.
and meat. Everything is top of the line. So it's definitely worth it. Yeah.
You can't think of the gyros here in the States. You can't. Don't compare it. It's
Not
different.
Even the same. No.
So I know you're like, Kim, it's a pita, it's gyros. Like what? No, trust us. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I was very surprised that that I ate that and that we kept going to that, especially when we found the right spot by the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then the other place that we ended up going to a few times was that cute little brunch spot that was not too far from our place.
The morning spot.
It was called Ego Mio. Yeah, it was good. And it was so nice because in there, people from all around the world. I love a spot where you can like leave your mark.
Yeah, and I left our little marker.
They let their walls just be our canvas basically, and we wrote. Just like you could write whatever you want. Yeah,
every inch of it, the main room was covered with people leaving little messages, and it was all color coordinated. It was neatly done.
It was so cute.
Yeah, it was cool.
Cute. So we found a spot towards the stairway, and then we wrote our message and put our stickers on there. So if you are going to Santorini, go to Ego Mio, and you'll see our little,
You can't miss my little message and my RickDog sticker.
Oh yeah, he wrote up stuff.
Oh, it was fun. It was nothing. My hand took over.
Yeah, he was so proud of it. That place was cute and the food was good.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And it was just like a cute brunch spot. Yeah. We walked to it because it was right by our Airbnb.
Good coffee.
Good coffee.
But everywhere you went, there was good coffee and good ice cream. Everywhere.
Yes. You couldn't go wrong.
At all times.
Honestly, there were so many gelato, little ice cream shops, so many like coffee spots. Yeah, honestly, and all of it was like top of line. Like, even a little like gas station type vibes, they're gonna have a top of the line espresso machine.
Still good.
Yeah, I feel like things to do in Santorini. There were so many. Santorini was wonderful, honestly. I mean, past the food, it was mid, but it was really a wonderful stay.
It was. I agree.
And there was a red sand beach that you could go there.
Yeah, the beach.
And
that was cool.
It was.
That was a vibe.
It's a very solid hike. It's not too hard. It's not too deep. There were old people. That's the thing about Greece. There was hella old people.
Yeah.
So if there's places with hella old people, that areas are accessible, right? It's not these places where like, you know what I mean, that the people can't get to. You know.
And they're worth the view because people were like doing a little work to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're a little bit older, like, okay, if this person's willing to take this little journey, where are we going over this little side of this mountain to see this beach? Once you got there, you were kind of blown away. So I was really blown away by the beaches, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
We were on a volcanic mountain or island beach.
The red one, the black one too. That was a volcanic.
Oh my God, we went back there. That was one we went back to.
The red beach.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a black sand beach.
And there
was a red sand beach, and there was also a white one, but
we never made
that
it.
was only you can only get there by boat. So
yeah, we tried though in our little smart car, boy.
We tried, and I was like, we were like driving in like sand, and it was very off road. I was like, I don't know.
We pulled over to read the. Like, do not try to.
You can get there by boat.
We went on some smart car adventures.
Yeah, but we weren't the only cars there trying to get there too. So we were like, okay.
Those beaches were cool.
But the red sand beach was wonderful, and it wasn't just sand; it was like pebbles. They were just giant, like hot stone massage pebbles. Sand beach. They were like marble top, whatever you. From Greece, and those beaches sitting there. So yeah, I could definitely like person.
They were all every inch of the beach was covered in it. It was crazy.
Beautiful pebbles and stones. I ended up taking some pebbles back and gifting them. Ricky hates when I do that. And I brought some back for us too, so we can have pieces of Greece with us. People were collecting like sand, like they had little glass vials and they were collecting sand.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's a thing. You know,
people were getting down. Yep.
Yeah, so that was the red sand place isn't like less than 20 minutes.
Everywhere you go, 30, 20 minutes away
at most.
Just going around a mountain.
Around them, every place that we put in, like 20 minutes away. Oh, okay, cool. Get in there. You know what I mean? Like there were no places that were like hours. No, it's tiny, so you're good. But yeah, those were the highlights. There was also a lighthouse too. It was a famous lighthouse at the end of the island too. Had a wonderful view. Again, if you stay wherever your Airbnb or whatever is, they'll know, because again, it's very small there, so they only have a couple areas.
Yeah, they're kind of. It's like right on the lighthouse is right on the edge.
Right on the edge. Yeah, I remember there was that one tour. Remember that Greek woman was showing a bunch of old people like. Yeah, when we got there. Yeah, so they were like, "Oh yeah, guys, here's the end of the islands. Here's the view." You know, so. Very touristy.
It's like where you would see the sunrise or the sun. Like it's the best spot for the sunrise or whatever.
Yes.
So.
Oh, but that's the thing. Sunsets.
Oh, the sunset. Excuse me.
So,
on the other side.
so where the island is positioned, sunrises weren't really the vibe. Like you couldn't really see the sunrise, but the sunsets.
The sunset. Yeah.
Because of where the islands are and where it's facing, where the cliff was, where all the area was, the way it's facing the sunsets would be like the vibe. So they had famous, like every place you went to is like famous sunsets. But we did notice, if it had a really great view, or if it was talking about the view so much, the food was like mid. It was like, eh.
So if you went somewhere with a better view, you weren't getting that good of food. But if you could try to find somewhere deep inside, then you'd get something a little better. And it said that when we were when we were studying up on the different islands and different places, it said to watch out for that type of stuff. Yeah,
it's
and
like
to pack light
or whatever. So just don't have like the highest expectations of food in Santorini.
In Santorini, it wasn't
unless you want to pay the money.
Great.
Like again, we didn't go to Ia and eat too much, but that was expensive as fuck,
Yeah.
And we just were So but that's Santorini. When we left Santorini, we got a transfer to the airport because we ended up flying.
The same person gave us a ride back.
Same person, yes. Yeah. Shout out to her. She was badass. She dropped us off at the airport, and then we ended up taking a flight to Athens. The flight, again, super fast.
Yep.
Under an hour literally to get there.
It was quick.
And when we landed in Athens, man, was it a culture shock, right?
Yeah, it was different. Yeah.
I mean, mind you guys, we have been in Paros and Santorini. Like, these were like small islands, scooter, like cats, like, and then all of a sudden we get to Athens where you're just smack dab brought right back into the city life.
Yeah, much faster pace.
Kind of lots of cars.
Felt more at home, really.
Yeah. It honestly was. I'm happy that we did it the way we did. Like, I'm happy that we reversed it and we did the islands first and then left Athens last. Because it was. But going back to that, after we stayed in those islands, I was just like, I was a little jarred. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh my god. Oh, like all these cars.
Yeah.
And then we would look up things and things would be that's an hour away. That's an hour away. I'm like,
man.
Okay, so we're back to
the
city.
Driving and the parking. That was the.
And Ricky chose more of a like if we were like the vibes if we like lived in Athens, which I loved, right? He got us a cute apartment right by, it was in Piraeus?
Right by the port.
By the port, yeah. And it was like very much like, if you had an apartment, you lived there in Athens.
Up on the 6th floor, they had the miniature elevator. Remember the elevator?
The elevator.
One-person elevator. We went up to the 6th floor, then had a little balcony with the little jacuzzi. It was cool. It was definitely just like an everyday apartment. Somebody probably lives there and then works in one of the islands over the
Piraeus.
What is it?
Piraeus. That's like the area that we stayed in Athens. And again, it was right off rental when we got to the airport, so we had one ready to go. And we rented just a small car. It wasn't like a
medium smart car.
Medium small, yeah. And we made sure to get an automatic because again, manual and stick shifts. It was just like this little like toggle.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was like putting your window up. And
it was like putting your window up to like switch gears, like park and like reverse. I didn't like it, but it was a brand new car. It was nice to experience. But parking, my God, parking was tough.
Brutal.
And it's so funny because the Airbnb conveniently left out that information.
I didn't say anything about it. We had a parking spot.
Why? Because it was trash, right? Parking. So, mind you, we're from Chicago. We're used to parking in the hardest spots, right? Wrigleyville, all these fucking random places. Pilsen, you know what I mean? Where it's hard to find spots. So, we actually got the hang of it. We got one ticket.
We did pretty good. Oh my God, I forgot about the ticket. Oh, we're in trouble.
We got one ticket the whole time we were there.
We're criminals.
And that was a spot. I'm sorry. I still say that place that we parked that car was a spot. But whatever. We got a ticket. But then we ended up finding, we got the hang of it. Like the first night. So
we did good. You did good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We took the car into the square. So basically the square is called Monastiraki Square, which is where, what did you say? It was where that was a square where you said everybody would go and talk and
that's where. Well, that's just
politics would go.
Philosophy. That's where people would go and think. That was the main market, and that's where the beginning of Western civilization, free thinking, and stuff like that. Where that's kind of that's where we kind of got into the beginning part of our history, the trip. Everything went from just being a vacation to once you get to Athens, it really turns into going back thousands of years to what people would be doing in certain areas and stuff like that. The buildings have been there forever. So, that little market area where free thinking and philosophy and politics started and stuff like that. So,
no, it was really cool because, going to Athens, very much there. Again, we had 3 different trips in one. Athens was more. Now we're gonna go into ancient history. We're gonna learn. So I booked us a tour. The second day, so we can go to visit the Acropolis, the famous castle on top of the hill. You could see the Acropolis when you get to the center of Athens, the square, and it's just amazing.
It's made to be seen from a distance.
God! Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of nuts how you're just walking around the square, and then all of a sudden you look up, and then right on the hill, there's this freaking castle that's old as fucking time, just old. And we learn a lot about that Acropolis, that castle, and how it's been used throughout all the centuries of just how it used to be a church. Used and abused. How it got blown up, and there was actual you could see the remnants of where it exploded and where there was this explosion.
They blew the roof off of it.
Blew the roof off, literally. And then they the history our tour guide was really nice because she explained it all. So we booked that, and like she walked you through the Acropolis and that area, and that town, and then like basically she tells you all about the ruins.
Yeah, she took you up and she gave you the history of it, and she showed you the theaters on the way up. The where the birthplace of acting, birthplace of acting and theater, and then they had a music theater. So it was.
Oh yeah, you can actually go. What was the name of that fucking theater? It was at the Acropolis. But it was a theater that was still active. So like you could go see a concert there.
Yeah.
You could still do it. And I told Ricky, I'm like, we gotta go see a motherfucking concert.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was huge.
Fucking amazing.
And the roof had been blown off of that too. So it was the first music theater. They had the first acting theater, which went all the way up to where the temples and where the castle was. So hundreds of thousands of people could fit into these. Not hundreds. I'd say about tens of thousands of people could fit in these things.
Oh yeah.
So it was an amazing experience. There's no doubt about that. The Acropolis, just even walking up there. Was huge,
It was, and we were really blessed because it wasn't too hot. Because again, we're going through springtime, right? And but it did rain a little bit while we were there, and it got a little slippery. So they were like, because you're walking on all marble.
Yeah, it's all slippery.
It's like all fucking marble that you're walking on and shit. So it's like it's old. It's like, and there's all remnants of just like because again. Throughout time, there's been all these wars and battles in this place, and you can see all the remnants from these battles.
During these battles, they would come and tear down all their statues and all their buildings. The Greeks would go thousands of years ago. They built these places up, and then they would tear them down, and then they would loot. They would loot a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. So there were like tons of stuff at the British Museum.
Yeah.
Because the British Museum fucking stole it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff.
They took literally. They were like, oh yeah, this empty spot here. That's at the British Museum.
Everything you saw there was basically half put together or half destroyed. Yeah. Everything, which was sad to see, but also you got to understand their history a little bit and the history of what's happened over the last 2,000 years. It's crazy, really.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. So, I mean, not only is there the Acropolis there's also the ancient Agora of Athens, where you can literally purchase a ticket. Tickets were just, you could buy. I recommend buying them beforehand. Yeah. And, there's a QR code when you walk because there's a line. Yeah. But literally, they have a QR code where you can purchase a ticket online and just skip the line.
That place definitely is really do that. Cool. Yeah. That was the ancient market, right? Yeah.
Yep. And it was
amazing
literally
place.
You walk through
must
it.
Must see. Yeah.
There was because they had the basically you could oversee that whole area, and then it would show you a photo of what it used to look like, of that's where that market was. Yeah,
they had a museum. They had a little bit of everything there.
There was a church. There's little there's builders' homes. It's just like a little town. You know what I mean? And what it used to look like.
Yeah, that was basically the ancient start of everything. Everybody would that's where everyday people would live. And
and there there were people there too to keep cleaning. So it was really wonderful to see. It was really wonderful to see. And the famous, this word's hard to say, Panathenaic.
Oh boy!
Oh my God!
Oh boy! This is bad. This is the best part of the show right here.
Oh, shut up!
It's the Olympic Stadium.
The Olympic Stadium there. Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
That's not at all. Let the little guy say it, because that's not at all how you say it. I heard them say it. That's not how they said it.
I was like, how do you fucking say this word?
I never even tried once. So.
I will literally butcher it again. Hold on, let me get it because it's basically where the Olympics were.
Yeah, where they first originally had the Olympics thousands of years ago.
Panathenaic.
There it is. Somewhat.
Panathenaic.
What did he say? Let him go again. That's not how you say it.
Ricky's like, that's not what they were saying. Panathenaic Stadium, which is literally the world's only white marble stadium.
It was amazing.
It was just all white.
It was amazing.
Full, and it was quite amazing to witness that. They actually had the remnants of the chair, they built marble seating for the
special seating, for the king and queen.
So we sat in the king and queens, seats at that stadium.
The track, the Olympic Stadium. Then we were able to walk on the track, walk around it.
It still was active. There were events going on
cool. And then
while we were there.
They had rebuilt it so that.
And then you went, and then they also, mind you, they give you this listening device where you can listen to the the whole history, and you walk around it. So like it tells you how like little numbers. It was like go to number 1, and then you push number 1 and you listen to like the history and the story, and then you go to number 2. You go around the stadium, and then it tells you all about it. And at one point we went into like the remember the cave?
Oh yeah, so they had the entrance for the athletes. The tunnel was an actual cave that had been there thousands of years, and not only had been there, it's the most special cave that they think in all of Athens. So we were able to walk in there.
They were like, just take a moment and listen to and feel the energy of all the athletes and feel their anxiety as before they go and they walk out.
It was pretty cool to walk through there. That that's where all these athletes, the same tunnel. And then remember they even talked about how back in ancient time the tunnel was a little different and it'd go all the way back, and then the women of Athens would go in there.
They would get naked and
do a dance and kind of a rain dance, hoping for
praying for their husband.
So a lot. It was amazing, all the history that was in there. Where you could feel it when you were in that tunnel, and that tunnel was beautiful too.
Tunnel was beautiful. Yeah.
It was probably one of the more special places I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And that's probably the highlight of my trip was being in that tunnel. Yeah. Because of the feeling that I got, I could feel it. It was amazing.
You definitely felt it, and then you just you feel like, okay, like imagine if you're an athlete, you're about to go out in that stadium and have
gladiator,
thousands of people like
track runners,
about to perform, so definitely you felt that.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was the energy. Honestly, the whole time we were there, I had very vivid dreams. I had very vivid dreams, and I felt the energy there. You could just feel it. Like there's
you could
history.
feel the energy. You could tell a lot has happened there. You could feel it there. Yeah.
It was amazing to feel that there. And then we also have to shout out the shopping, guys.
Oh yeah, shopping.
So remember we told you we only brought one carry-on. So we didn't have a lot of space, right? Mind you, me and RickDog ended up leaving things in Athens to buy these. Yeah, because we found the Nike factory. Okay.
Well, no, that's not true. We found
Nike factory.
Lots of nice shoe stores. They took their shoes and their shopping very seriously, so we enjoyed it. It wasn't overly expensive, and it was very good quality. So
we found deals. Like we found things that here in the States would have been like twice as much.
Yes.
We found there for like half the price.
Shirts, shoes.
Yeah, shoes. So
very unique.
Definitely. You guys try when you go to Greece. Don't bring everything. Don't bring anything.
No, I wouldn't bring it. I would go naked basically, and then when you're there, just an empty bag and then just whitey tighties.
Just whitey tighties.
And then you should be good from there.
I will say, me and RickDog, in our final stay, right? Because remember Ricky got us that hotel apartment, right? The last stay was like an apartment.
Oh yeah, I had
and it had a washer.
Oh,
in there,
yeah.
Mind you, no dryer, guys. We have to remind everyone. There's not everywhere in the world has dryers. Okay, that is a customary thing that I think a lot of like Western and Americans that are used to. But it's because we do get all the seasons. When I lived in Australia, I didn't have a dryer either. And that's in Australia. It's a whole other side of the world. But it was very common for you just leave your items on outside, a dry rack and just dry your items the old-fashioned way, right? So our apartment had a washer, and then we would have to dry our items outside, and it was very fast.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
We would just put it there, and then overnight the next day it was like fine. It was like ready to wear or whatever. So, but yeah, that was something else that we wanted to make sure. Things are just a lot different. Outside of the States. So. I think it was really nice to see that, there's just because we were like, where's the dryer? We're like, we don't have a dryer. Get your drying rack out and dry your clothes. Old fashioned.
Old fashioned. Yeah, things could be a little old fashioned over there. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But I love that. It humbles you because it's like, we don't fucking need all these
yeah, you could live a little. Yeah. You could still live a fast-paced life and still do things simpler at the same time. So you definitely, it was a different vibe, different living out there. You were able to learn, but also, I definitely took away that there's certain things that I would, I'm very thankful for that we have here.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, and I think that's something that
take for granted.
A lot of Americans need to do is just travel a little bit, get a different perspective on life.
Yeah.
Talk to some locals.
Yeah, because their dream is still to. Isn't it crazy that we were talking there? There's everybody somehow slipped it into the conversation. Oh, my dream is still to come to America. And we were always like, really? Right now? What? That's crazy. But you think about it, it's the truth. So that's very humbling too.
Very much so. Yeah, we were like, I was casually just having conversations with the locals, and I was like, where are you from? Man, I'm from Chicago. They were like, oh, it's my dream, able to travel and all that fun stuff. You know,
Yep.
food in Athens.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of food spots. However, we went to one spot 3 times.
Yes, we
it's
did.
called Meet the Greek.
Meet the Greek.
I know.
It was
funny,
good.
right?
No, that shit was
So
good.
it was another gyro spot, but it was like elevated. When I
Yeah.
tell you,
To the max.
each of those ingredients, again, the tomatoes, the
bread.
bread,
Oh, even
the
that
meat,
sauce.
the tzatziki sauce, like
olive oil.
elevated. I mean, the best quality,
Yeah.
outstanding.
Fresh
So
and-
that is a must go to when you're in Athens. Must go to Meet the Greek, and it is near the square area where all the where like the
square is
Acropolis and all that
great.
stuff. It's right
They
there
had the little
in
Snow White area.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. Montestoriki. Oh my god, why can't I say Greek words?
Because it's
Greek
okay.
words are hard
Just
for me.
spell it out.
Montestoriki Square.
We'll put it in the notes.
It's near the. It's literally like a walking distance.
That place
So
was cool. That little
Meet the
area.
Greek.
It's another place where you just walk into the alleys and you'll find another shopping area. It's wild there. The shopping and just the light, and then how people go out in the evening time, like they go out for dinner more like 9-10 o'clock.
Yeah, so
is
they take
normal.
their
Yeah.
siestas. So
Yeah.
it's in a culture where they'll take their naps.
Yep.
And then they go out in the evening. They'll actually get up and they'll work
Yeah,
and they'll go in the later.
It's
Yeah,
normal.
so it's normal.
for
Yeah.
kids and and like families to be out at like 11-12 o'clock
Yeah.
having dinner, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Ricky was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is so."
But it was
late."
good. You get
Oh.
a lot of times you go on vacation, you can't find food after a certain
Oh,
time,
that's true.
and you never had to worry about that.
No.
Here, you could always get coffee.
If anything, we
Ice
had a
cream.
harder time waking up early and getting things like 'cause
in the
me and Ricky
morning.
were waking up because we were jet lagged.
Yeah.
So we were waking up early. We had a hard time finding things in the morning.
Things didn't
than
open
at
up till
night.
9-10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, like in the morning, that's when we were like, "Oh, it's not open yet. It's not
Which
open
is
yet,"
interesting.
You know?
It was cool. Yeah.
Kookland was
Oh,
that
boy,
one place
careful.
that we stumbled
Oh,
upon.
that Snow White.
The Snow White, yeah. So guys, mind you, we parked there and we kind of felt, we just like kind of like ran into it.
Stumbled upon this.
Stumbled upon, guys, it was this wild area where they have literally gone nuts and they have exploded with full of like Snow White themed shit.
Yeah.
And they had
It's an alley.
It was an alley.
Yeah.
And you can actually, I guess, like have like pastries and
It's like
and
it's for
cream
kids.
and, like,
It was
and
for
coffee.
kids. Yeah.
But it was like the servers were all wearing like Snow White gear
It's
and like the
crazy.
Prince gear, and apparently my friend told me that they choose the themes. The themes change. And it used to be,
It changes.
yeah, it used to be what Alice in Wonderland before.
Okay,
Snow
that
White.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I
so
can see
I
that,
guess they
yeah.
switch up the theme, but it's always Disney. Like,
Yeah, we saw
related.
Mickey Mouse walking around.
We saw Mickey Mouse rocking around. Yeah, that's right. Yes, trying to get his money. The woman with the roses.
Yes.
She like threw a rose at me and, and I was
forced
just
you.
like, what?
That
And
was
then Ricky was
funny.
like, no. And then I'm like, I was stuck. I had to like give her money
your rose,
for a
lady.
rose. And then I gifted the rose to a nice Greek lady. So I was like, here you go. So, but yeah, there's hustling. Oh, we didn't talk about that one hustling ass little girl in Santorini.
We don't have to talk about
Oh
her.
my God. There was a young little girl that was hustling.
We don't have to talk about her.
She was hustling. She went
She's
up to
gonna
everybody.
she's going to be the future gangster of Santorini. She's going to run that.
Literally. She could have been older than 10.
She would just. The one thing about being in Greece, we haven't talked about the people very much. They're very blunt.
I loved it.
And even the people that would come up and ask for this girl would just walk up to you and say money.
Yeah.
Nothing.
give me
Else. Money.
And then not only just
And
money,
then
she
no,
was like
just
50
walk away.
cents. Like she was giving
Very
me like
direct.
increments.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, give me €1,
okay.
50 cents. Like she was haggling me giving her money. And I was like, what is this?
The most intimidating little girl I've ever met.
Yeah.
She's like was like talking to Al Capone himself.
Yeah. She went up to us a couple times and I was like, no, girl, get out of here.
It's funny. She's
yeah.
funny.
So and then remember there was an older woman too that came coming out to meet the Greek.
Oh yeah, the Meet the Greek.
Too,
Yeah, I remember
and I was
that.
like, oh my God. So like, yeah, it it
you
is
got
what
that
it
a
is.
little bit. It wasn't a lot, but
It
was
wasn't too much, but
very.
it is what it is.
It was different than other places.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. The people were cool there though because they were blunt. They kind of just even if you made a mistake in what you ordered or something like that, they'd tell you exactly like you've made a mistake here. You should do this or that. And, they're not there.
Like the waters, like we wanted to because we were just me and Ricky were in heaven because we love sparkling water.
Yeah.
So